want you dead.
You just stir up trouble. That's what you do.
That's what I do because I'm a cop.
They tried to kill me.
Sword fight. Do you ever find out who killed them? Ninjas on bikes.
Let's talk more shit.
You two been chasing murders in the
The best of the best can clean up the mess you call the Wrecking Crew 2026, but this time the mission is not just dangerous. It's personal. Welcome back to M Cinema Reviews, where we break down the action, the twist, and the secrets you did not see coming. Buckle up because this crew does not fix problems, they demolish them. The Wrecking Crew is a 2026 American body can action comedy directed by Angel Manuel Soto and written by Jonathan Proper. The film stars Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista in the lead roles alongside Grace Bang, Temuera Morrison, Jacob Batalon, Frankel Adams, Stephen Root, and Morena. Bleeding explosive action with sharp comedic chemistry, the film follows two mismatched law enforcement officers whose clashing personalities turn every mission into a high-stakes case, forces them to rely on each other like never before. Private investigator Walter Hale is killed in what appears to be a hit and run in heavy. His estranged half-brother, U.S. Navy SEAL James, and suspended Oklahoma Police Detective Johnny are notified of his death. Soon after, Yakuza enforces attack Johnny at his home. Searching for a package they believe Walter sent him. He had no real relationship with his father. Johnny travels to Hawaii for the funeral and uncover the truth. There he reconnects with James, meets his wife Claire and their children, and reunites with their cousin Nani, who works for Governor Peter Moy, a longtime family friend. Investigating separately at first, the brother eventually cross paths at Waters. With help from Walter, assistant speaker, they discover casino development plans hidden inside a surfboard. Rennie reveals the proposed resort would be built on protected Hawaiian homelands already occupied by a local community. The brother infiltrate a party hosted by casino developer Marco. Johnny learns Walter had been hired by both Marcus and his wife Monica to spy on each other while James in country's Yakuza boss Nakamura, whose shell company owns the car tied to Walter's death. The next day, Johnny finds Monica murdered, suspecting Marcos. He confronts him but is beaten by security and jailed. After his release, James and Johnny crash physically and emotionally. Hearing long held, Johnny admits he is driven by guilt over failing to solve his mother's murder, while James reveals he sent Johnny away years ago to protect him from the syndicate, the crime group Johnny blames for her death. Johnny's ex-girlfriend Valentina then calls to say package from Walter has arrived. She delivers it to Harvey, and inside they find a flash drive that unlocks a digital wallet Walter owned. Yakuza gunmen attack again, but the group fights them off. The wallet contains millions of dollars and records of offshore accounts connected to Governor Moy. The brother realizes Robbie Cash working with the Yakuza provided Moy to legalize gambling and approve construction on protected land. Walter was killed after uncovering the scheme and mailing the flash drive to Johnny Rapikoshka kidnaps Delaney, demanding the flash drive in exchange for their lives. James and Johnny storm his estate, rescue the hostage, and kill both Nakamura and Robbie Garner. Mohi is arrested for corruption in graduate for eliminating the Yakuza targets. The syndicate leader gives Johnny the name of his mother, Killer, but Johnny burns the paper, choosing to let go of the past. Together, he decides to remain in heavy with James, and together they plan to use the million Walter left behind to start a new chapter. The Wrecking Crew 2026. A comprehensive analysis of the film dynamic cast introduction, a star-studded action comedy ensemble. The 2026 action comedy film The Wrecking Crew represents a significant milestone in buddy cop cinema, bringing together a carefully curated ensemble cast that perfectly balances explosive action, comedic timing, and dramatic depth. Directed by Angel Manuel Soto and written by Jonathan Dropper, this Amazon MGM Studios production premiered on January 20th, 2026 on Prime Video, quickly establishing itself as one of the most entertaining releases of early 2026. The film's success rests largely on the shoulders of its impressive cast, a diverse collection of established stars and rising talents who collectively breathe life into a story of redemption, brotherhood, and unexpected conspiracy. At its core, the Wrecking Crew is a tale of two estranged half-brothers forced to reunite following their father's mysterious death in Navy. The narrative framework allows for a compelling exploration of families' bonds strained by years of separation and personal tragedy. All all while maintaining the high-octane action sequence and comedic beats that anchor the film appeal to mainstream audience. The casting decision made by director Soto and the production team demonstrate a sophisticated understanding of how blend different performance styles and screen presence to create a entertaining cinematic experience. The led of Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista. Jason Momoa as Johnny Hale. Jason Momoa's portrayal of Johnny Hale stand as revelation for audience to seeing him in primarily action-oriented roles in the Wrecking Crew plays to reckless suspended police detective who work on a Native American reservation in Oklahoma who brings a distinct energy that diverges significantly from his previous work in blockbuster franchises. Johnny is characterized as the loose cannon of the duo, impulsive, quick-witted, and driven by a combination of personal and genuine curiosity regarding his father's untimely death. Muhammad's casting as Johnny represents an international choice to position him as the comedic engine of the film. Critics and audience have noted that while his performance demonstrates commitment and genuine efforts to elevate the material, the force Homer often walks a fine line between charming and awkward. This vulnerability in Moma's comedic timing actually work in the film's favor, creating moments of authentic awkwardness that underscores Johnny's character as someone who has never quite fit into traditional law enforcement structure. His character's suspension from duty serves as both a plot device and a character motivation that drives much of the film narrative momentum. After his release, James and Johnny clash physically and emotionally, airing long-held grievances. Johnny admitted Brian Walker over failing to solve his mother a murder while James was away. He sent Johnny away as a go to protect him from the syndicate. The crying corrupt Johnny blamed for her death. Johnny ex-girlfriend Valentina then called to say a package from Walter had arrived. She delivers it too heavy, and inside they find a flash drive that unlock a digital wallet. Walter honored Yakuza genuine attack again, but the group fights them off. The wallet contains millions of dollars and records of offshore accounts connected to Governor Mahu. The brother release Bobby Gosh working with the Yakuza bribed Mohi to legalize gambling and approve construction on protected land. Walter was killed after uncovering the scheme and mailing the flash drive to Johnny. Robbie Koch kidnaps Lelia and Annie, demanding the flash drive exchange for their lives. James and Johnny storm his estate, rescue the hostage, and kill both Nakamura and Robbie Koch. Governor Mohi is arrested for corruption and graduate for eliminating the Yakuza 3 the syndicate leaders gives Johnny the name of his mother killers, but Johnny burns to paper, choosing to let go of the past. He decides to remain in heavy with James, and together they plan to use the millions Walter left behind to start a new chapter. Directing Crew 2026, a comprehensive analysis of the film dynamic Cast introduction: a star-studded action comedy ensemble. The 2026 action comedy film The Wrecking Crew represents a significant milestone in buddy cop cinema, bringing together a carefully curated ensemble cast. The perfectly balanced explosive action, comedic timing, and dramatic depth. Directed by Manuel Soto and written by Jonathan Dropper, this Amazon MGM studio production premiered on January 28, 2026, exclusively on Prime Video, quickly establishing itself as one of the most entertaining releases of early 2026. The film success rests largely on the shoulder of its impressive cast, a diverse collection of established stars and rising talents who collectively breathe life into a story of redemption, brotherhood, and unexpected consequences. At its core, the Wrecking Crew is a tale of two estranged half-brothers forced to reunite following their father's My Story's death in Heavy. The narrative framework allows for a compelling exploration of family bonds strained by years of separation and personal tragedy, all while maintaining the high octane action sequence and comedic beats that anchor the film's appeal to mainstream audience. The casting decision made by director Soto and production team demonstrate sophisticated understanding of how to blend different performance styles and screen presence to create a cohesive and entertaining cinematic experience. The lead Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista. Jason Momoa as Johnny Hale. Jason Momoa's portrayal of Johnny Hale stands as revelation for audience accustomed to seeing him in primarily action-oriented roles in The Wrecking Crew. Mohammed plays a reckless, suspended police detective who works on a Native American reservation on Oklahoma, bringing a distinct energy that diverges significantly from his previous work in blockbuster franchises. Johnny is characterized as the loose cannon of the duo, impulsive, quick-witted, and driven by a combination of personal vendetta and genuine regarding his father's ultimate death. Ma'am Ma's casting as Johnny represents an international choice to position him as the comedic engine of the film. Critics and audience have noted that while his performance demonstrates commitment and genuine effort to elevate the material, the fourth walks a fine line between charming and awkward. This vulnerability and Momia's comedic timing actually works in the film favor, creating moments of the authentic awkwardness that underscore Johnny character as someone who has never quite fit into traditional law enforcement structure. His character's suspension from duty serves as both a plot device and character motivation that drives much of the film's narrative momentum. What makes Mama's performance particularly noteworthy is his willingness to be vulnerable on screen. The film takes time to explore the emotional toll that Johnny's estrangement from his father and brother has taken, and Momo's brings genuine thoughts to these quieter moments. His physical comedy, meanwhile, showcases his understanding of how to use his considerable frame for both intimidation and humor, a delicate balance that executes with surprising finesse. Dave Bautista as James Hale, in contrast to Mama's loose cannon approach, Dave Bautista brings gravitas and composure to role of James Hale and disciplined as Navy SEAL, where they represent dramatic opposite of his half-brother. Bautista career transformation from professional wrestler to respected character actor reached new heights in the Wrecking Crew as his demonstrates a nuanced understanding of how to play a structured military man forced into an increasingly circumstance. James Hale is a cerebral force in the narrative, a devoted family man with a wife and children who grown the more outlandish element of a story. Batista's performance benefits from his recent work in ensemble piece where he has conscience, contribution, and ability to be both commanding and omnipotent. He uses his substantial physical repressions not merely as a tool for action sequences but as a statement about his character, discipline, and control. When James is forced to embody his structured world and enter the unpredictable realm his brother inhabits, Bautista skillfully portrays the internal conflict between duty and familial obligation. Multiple reviews have noted that performance anchored the film, providing emotional weight to sequences that might otherwise feel hollow. His character development mirrors the film's central thesis that brotherhood and family bond can transcend years of race. arrangement and personal disappointment. The chemistry between Bautista and Mamiya emerged as the film creates sets with their contrasting performance styles, creating a genuine sense of two people learning to work together despite fundamental differences in temperament and approach. The supporting cast build a world-class band as Marcos Danish actor Kelly Bang assumes the role of Marcus, the primary, who serves as the narrative central conspiracy. The band brings distinctive European sensibility to what could have been a one-dimensional violent role. His performance suggests that is not merely a simple criminal mastermind, but a complex figure operating within large system of power and corruption. Bank casting represent a deliberate choice to elevate his beyond typical action film violent tropes. His refined demeanor and measured intensity create an interesting counterpoint to the kinetic energy of Momo and Bautista performance. The character of Marcos embodies the valiant figure who operates through intelligence and manipulation rather than brute force, making him a conceptually perfect foil for the brother more direct approach to problem solving. Temuera Morrison as Governor Peter Mahu, New Zealand actor Temuera Morrison brings considerable presence to his role as a governor. Peter Mahu, described as a longtime family friend. Morrison casting as important layer of political guarantee the narrative introduction questions about trust, loyalty, and complications that arise when personal relationships interest with public office. His character serves as both potential ally and suspected conspirator, creating narrative tension through his ambiguous position. Madison brings the gravitas of his previous working in major franchises films to the role, lending credibility to his character's political position and creating a sense that whatever secrets he harbors carry significant weight. The performance suggests a man caught between compacting loyalties and Martian ability to convey internal conflict without exclusive dialogues make his sense particularly compelling. Marina became as Valentina Morcano became known for her versatile dramatic work across television and film. Takes on the role of Valentina, a character whose exact narrative function adds another layer of mystery to the film plot structure. Background presence in the cast list of buddy cop action comedy indicates a commitment to balancing the ensemble with talented character actors who can navigate both dramatic and comedic material. Career trajectory demonstrates her ability to work effectively with an ensemble structure while still commanding attention through her performance. In the Wrecking Crew, her character likely serves functions that extend beyond simple romantic interest or support, suggesting that the film narrative incorporates multiple character arcs that develop throughout its 122 minutes runtime. Stephen Root as Detective Reinhardt. Stephen Root casting a detective Reinhardt brings the reliable character actor's considerable talents to what may be a supporting law enforcement role. Root has built an impressive career playing complex, often morally authority figures, and his presence in the wrecking crew suggests the character carries more narrative weight than surface-level analysis might indicate. Root's performances are characterized by an ability to find humor in mundane stationery while simultaneously conveying genuine authority and competence. His character likely occupies an interesting space within the film law enforcement, potentially creating complications for Johnny investigative pursuits while establishing important and narrative content. The heavily cast and cultural representation. Jacoba Matolan as Pika. Jacob Matolan inclusion in the cast as Pika represents an interesting casting choice that speaks to the film's attention to local Hawaiian talent and representation. Matolan, who gained international recognition through his work in the Marvel Saga cinematic universe, brings particular resonance to his role in the Wrecking Crew, given his own connection to Heavy. Reports indicate that Bedlone was overjoyed to return to his home state for the production, and his local roots undoubtedly informed his character authentically. Bedlone character Pika serves a comedic function with the ensemble providing what appears to be genuine comic relief while grounding the narrative in the local alien content. The actors for participating in a film set in home New Zealand actress Rominta Fox plays Lila Hale, Jane's wife, positioning her as an important emotional anchor for the film's central male protagonist. Fox brings depth to what could have been a thankless supporting role in fusing Lila with the agency and presence necessary to make her investment in her husband's journey feel earned rather than automatic. Frankel Adams as Anani Palakiko Frankel Adams, a New Zealand actress known for her powerful dramatic work in international productions, takes on the role of Unani Palkiko, a character whose name and posturning suggest significant cultural importance to the film. Hawaiian setting Adams brings considerable talent and presence to her role, likely serves as a strong female presence with the ensemble behind the romantic support framework that traditionally constrains female character in action comedies. Adams' career demonstrates her ability to navigate complex action sequences while delivering nuanced dramatic performance. Her inclusion in the cast suggests that the wrecking crew made a deliberate choice to provide sub-stational roles for female performance rather than relegating them to peripheral positions with the narrative structure. Maya Koliha as Lani, Maya Kiloha Lani represent another instance of film commitment to featuring local heavily and talent. Kiloha brings authentic connection to the film Iceland setting, and her performance likely enriches the emotional geography of the heavy sequences. Brain Corona as Walter Hale. Brain Corona appears in the role of Walter Hale, the brother father whose death sets the entire narrative in motion. Though his role may be relatively brief, performance establishes the emotional foundation upon which the brother relationship, conflict, and eventual rest. The quality of his work in establishing this foundational emotional through limited screen time speak to his crafts as performer. International and specialized casting as Nakamura, Japanese singer and actor, takes on the role of Nakamura, introducing an international dimension to the film. Forces inclusion as a key supporting player introduces visual and cultural variety to the ensemble while suggesting connections to organized crime elements that propel much of the plot. Career in both music and acting has positioned him as a compelling cross-cultural performer capable of navigating complex narrative spaces. His presence in the wrecking crew likely adds layers of entire sequence involving criminal enterprises or international conspiracy elements just as guy Joshua portrayal of Kai adds another layer to the film Pacific Assassin representation. The actor brings authentically to what may be local character work, ensuring that the avian and broader Pacific Island community is represented by performers who have genuine cultural connection to these places and identities. As Stephen role as suggests involvement with the film's apparent organized crime storyline has built a career playing complex character across television and film, bringing considerable presence to ensemble work. The inclusion of additional Japanese performers in the cast suggests significant narrative sequence involving Japanese organized crime elements or Yakuza connections, adding another layer of international to the film's conspiracy plot. The directing vision Angel Manuel Soto, while not technically a cast member, director Angel Manuel Soto choices regarding casting deserve significant consideration as his previous work and directional approach clearly informed the ensemble construction. Soto known for his visually dynamic action sequence and character focus storytelling made deliberate choices to assemble a cast capable for balancing comedy, action, and emotional depth. Soto direction allows each cast member space to develop their character while maintaining the film brisk pacing and high energy action sequence. Reviews consistently note that the while script may rely on familiar tropes and predictable structure, the performance elevate the material through commitment and chemistry. This elevation suggests that Soto selected performers not merely for star power or box office potential, but for their specific ability to navigate the tonal complexity the film attempts to achieve. The writer's contribution, Jonathan Tropper's script provides the framework within which cast operates. Tropper's background in both television writing and feature film informed his approach to creating characters that could support a both comedic and dramatic moments. His scripting likely influenced casting decisions as the specific dialogue and character beats required performers capable of handling rapid fire comedy, physical comedy, dramatic and action sequence. Credibility Tropper's writing credit suggests script that prioritizes character interaction and relationship development alongside plot, a structural choice that necessitates casting actor capable of generating genuine chemistry and emotional authenticity. Casting analysis the body cop framework. The casting of the wrecking crew deliberately invokes the body cop genre established by films like Beverly Hills Cops 1984 with the Mummy position and the pole originally popularized by Eddie Murphy. Axel Folds' thematic choice influenced casting decisions throughout the ensemble, with the supporting players selected to echo and enhance the genre framework while adding contemporary sensibilities. The physical contrast between Momoa and Bautista, the former representing energy and unconventional approach, the latter embodying disciplined structure and methodical problem solving, creates visual and performance based tension that mirrors the narrative conflict driving the plot forward. Action, credentials, and physical presence a significant portion of the casting decision for prioritize actors with established action credentials. The approach ensures the action sequence feel grounded in the performer's actual capabilities rather than relying entirely on stunt doubles and editing tricks. Him and the director had already begun the pre-production process, including executing filming location in heavy oil schedules conflicts with the airline team involvement. The director commitment to the full game is 2024 action comedy starring Ryan Gosling and Emil Blunt created ensuring able time issue rather than delay the wrecking crew. Infantry MBM made the decision to bring in a new director who could maintain the production momentum and shooting schedule in around 2023, and then Manuel Soto was officially announced as the new director of the Wrecking Crew. Soto was a Croatian filmmaker and just completed work on Blue Battle for Warner Bros. And DC film, which was released at some same month. While Blue Battle had not been a massive box office success, it had demonstrated Soto's ability to handle large-scale action sequences, manage ensemble cast, and brings a distinctive visual style to studio production. His Blue Battle had earned a respectable 77% criticized score on Rotten Tomatoes and impressive 92% audience score, suggesting he had the skill to deliver crowd-pleasing entertainment. Soto brought his own sensibilities to the wrecking crew while respecting the vision that Bautista, Momoa, and Roper had developed his approach and emphasized the emotional authenticity of the mother relationship of the film core while delivering the spectral action sequences the audience would expect from the project. This skill the director background in documentary filmmaking and his embraces all characters driven storytelling would vocal elevating the film beyond film action showcase. Showcase casting assembling the ensemble by Jason Momoa and David Bautista were attached to the project from its inception in 2021. Their casting was officially confirmed alongside Soto director announcement in August 2023. The two actors were not only their considered as a star power, but also pre-existing working relationship and genuine friendship. They had previously collaborated on Apple TV Plus, the post-apocalyptic drama series where Bautista had a recurring role and had appeared together in Dennis Williams, though not in scene together. The supporting cast came together rapidly in months leading up to production in August 2024. A major announcement revealed the addition of several key players. Calais, the Danish actor known for his work in The Scare and Dracula, was cast as the film's primary antagonist. Marcus Rubio's Temuera Morrison, beloved for his role in the Star Wars universe and as the original voice of Jango Fett, joined the cast in significant supporting role. Jacob Batalyon, who had gained fame as Ned Leeds in the Spider-Man Home trilogy, was cast as Peter, providing comic relief and representing authentic Avian representation as he himself as a native of Abbey. Frankie Adams from The Expanse movie and character actor Stephen Root rounded out his impressive ensemble in September 2024, just weeks before filming began. Additional casting was announced. Marina Carino for her roles in the Deadpool franchises and Farley joined the Valentina Johnny ex-girlfriend Adele, adding both dramatic weight and romantic tension to the story. Rania Beck from Romanta Fox and Bryce Campbell Richmond were also added the cast, further strengthening the film representation of Pacific Islander talent and culture. The casting process reflected a conscious effort to create authentic and avian representation both in front of and behind the camera. The inclusion of actors with genuine connections to Avi and the Pacific Island was not merely opportunistic but integral to the film commitment to portraying Hawaiian culture and communities with respect and accuracy. This approach would become one of the film's distinguishing characteristics and a point of pride for the production team. Tragically, the film would mark the final screen appearance of David Cullen, well, having an actor who had also appeared in 2025 live-action Willow and Stitch remark alongside co-star Maya Kaloha. Bell passed away in June 2025 before the film release, adding a poignant note to the production and serving as a reminder of the importance of preserving and celebrating Native Hawaiian talent and culture. Filming principal photography time and principal photography for the wrecking crew official began on October 5, 2024, marking the start of an ambitious international production that would span multiple locations across two countries. The production environment was carefully planned to maximize efficiency while capturing the diverse location needed to bring the story to life. According to Angela Lappet, the heavy producer for the film, the shooting schedule comprised approximately क्या 12 days of filming in Hawaii and 43 days in New Zealand for a total production period of roughly 3 months. This distribution of filming days reveals an interesting aspect of modern film production economics. While the story is set entirely in Hawaii and having an authenticity was recycled to the film identity, the majority of actual filming took place in New Zealand. The decision reflects the practical realities of the large-scale action filmmaking, where factors such as production infrastructure, tax incentives, new availability, and the ability to control filming environments often outweigh the benefits of shooting on location. Every filming location, despite the limited number of shooting days in heavy, the production made strategic use of icons and authentic location across would establish the film setting and visual identity. The opening sequence was filmed in Honolulu, Chinatown, specifically of Kakuroku Street, where the production captured Chinese New Year celebration and introduced to audience of the vibrant multicultural atmosphere of modern heavy. This location was also used to double for Kalihi in editing screens, demonstrating the production resourceful approach to maximizing their heavy shooting days. The Hilton having an village Wiki Beach resort served multiple functions in the film. The distinctive tower of this massive resort complex appear in several scenes with one building permanently featuring signage for the fictional company. One of the film's most visual spectral sequences in Interstate H3 car case was filmed on the actual highway, taking advantage of its dramatic routing through the mountains. The production also captured a motorcycle sequence along the Colonial Highway on Oahu East Coast, featuring stunning views of Makeup Beach. This location provided the perfect setting for showcasing both the natural beauty of Hawaii and the film's action. Additional filming in Hawaii took place in the production approach into filming in Hawaii went beyond simple using the island and beautiful backdrop, according to cast members interviewed about their experience. There was a conscious effort to involve local crews and talent. Jacob Bethune, who is from Heavy Express, special appreciation for working with the local crew for the first time in his career. Nothing that everyone operated on Heavy time and that the film showed Heavy as more than just tourist destination, depicting real Hawaiian communities and authentic daily life. New Zealand production hub, while Heavy provided essential establishing shots and authentic location, New Zealand served as the primary production hub for the wrecking crew, hosting the majority of the 55 days shoot. Auckland on New Zealand's North Island became the production's home base, with the city and its surrounding doubling for various avian locations. This decision to use New Zealand as filming location reflects the country's well-established reputation as destination for major Hollywood production built on infrastructure developed during the Lord of the Ring and Hobbit trilogies and maintained through countless subsequent production. The suburb of in South Auckland saw extensive filming with Queen Street, Park Avenue, and East Side of Hall Avenue, all serving as location for action sequences and chase scenes. These urban environments were dressed to resemble Havian Street with production design and visual effects, adding tropical elements and removing distinctly New Zealand architecture on Sydney. The Mere located south of Auckland was used for major vehicular stunts and chase sequences, providing the controlled environment necessary for complex, dangerous practical effect work. One of the film's most distinctive locations was a magnificent house on Morangi Solia, rural coastal area north of Auckland, which served as residence of Antagonist One of the standard sequences in the film is the hallway fight scenes featuring Dave Bautista that serve as direct homage to Park and Wook old while director Soto and stunt coordinator Valerie designed this sequence specifically as a tribute to that iconic film, utilizing a long corridor with glass elements that was part of the balance of set. According to Soto, the tight shooting schedule and budget constraints actually provided the perfect excuse to shoot the sequence in a single extended take, just like the Old Boy original. Bautista embraced the challenge, performing much of the himself and bringing his professional wrestling background and natural physicality to bear on the intricate fight. The film's case sequence, particularly one involving Marina, Jason Momoa, Devi, and Jacob, as became highlights according to earlier reviews. These sequences utilized real cars and helicopters with practical stunts performed by experienced stunts drive. While some CGI enhancement was necessary for safety reasons and to extend the scope of distraction beyond what could be practically achieved, the foundation of these sequences remained rooted in practical stunt work. However, not all of the action sequences escaped criticisms. However, reviews noted that helicopter effects in certain scenes appeared unconvincing, with visible CGI that detracted from otherwise practical heavy approach. These moments of less successful visual effects serve as a reminder of the challenge inherent in balancing ambitious action sequence with budget constraints, particularly for a streaming release that does not have the same financial expectation as theatrical blockbuster. The production employed innovative camera techniques to enhance the visual dynamism of action sequence. One scene, which involves putting a small boat into the ocean, features a camera mounted directly on the boat itself, creating an immersive point of view that draws the audience into the action. These small creative choices, while not revolutionary, demonstrate attention to visual storytelling that elevates the material beyond standard action. Here, both Moma and Bautista performed many of their own stunts with their considerable physical capability and action experience, allowing for more realistic and visceral fight geography. Their willingness to engage directly with the physical demands of the role rather than relying entirely on stunts. Double contributed to the authenticity of the action and the believability of their characters as formidable fighters. Post-production. Following the completion of principal photography in early 2025, the wrecking crew entered an intensive post-production phase that would transform the new footage into a polished final product ready for its January 2026 release. Matthew Wells served a post-production supervisor overseeing the complex process of editing. The editing process faced the considerable challenge of maintaining pace and energy across a 2 hour and 4 minute runtime. Some critics would later note that the film essentially feels longer than necessary, suggesting that a tighter editing might have improved the overall experience. However, the editing team successfully balanced multiple tonal shifts, moving between intense action sequences, comedic moments, family drama, and conspiracy thriller elements without losing narrative. Visual effect work in the post-production served multiple functions, enhancing practical stunts to make them more spectral, creating a digital environment to blend New Zealand locations with Hawaii geography and generating fully digital sequences where practical effect proved impossible or prohibitively expensive. The mixed reception of some visual effects, particularly the helicopter sequence, suggests that post-production faced the typically challenge of balancing ambitions with available resources and time. Color grading and digital intermediate work aimed to create consistent visual aesthetic supporting the film action thriller tone. The challenge of matching footage shot in two different countries under different lighting conditions and at different times of year so required color correction to maintain visual continuity. The final look achieve a sun-drenched, vibrant palette, allowing the action sequence to maintain the necessary clarity and impact. Sound design and mixing represented another aspect of post-production with the film's numerous action sequences requiring detailed audio work to create impact. Maintain intelligibility, the mixed balance, impressive sound effects, musical score, and dialogue, ensuring that the comedic element and career development remain clear even during the most chaotic moments. ADR dialogue replacement sessions allowed the actor to re-record lines for clarity or to adjust performance based on editorial decisions made during post-production. By September 2025, according to production tracking service, the film reached completed states, indicating that post-production had finished and the film was ready for its premiere and subsequent release. This timeline allowed for several months of marketing preparation before the January 2026 release date. The musical score for The Wrecking Crew was composed by Bobby Garlick, marking his scene collaboration with director Angel Manuel Soto following their work together on Blue Battle. Garlic, who is also known by his stage name of the Axiom Club, brought distinctive approach to film scoring to the project, blending reviews that maintained the soundtrack noted that it successfully supports the film's tonal shifts and enhances both the comedic and dramatic moments. The score ability to remain unstressed while still making meaningful contribution to the viewing experience represents a significant achievement in contemporary film music, where the challenge often lies in adding value without drawing excessive attention to its self-release. The Wrecking Crew represents a significant example of the evolving distribution landscape in Hollywood, where major studio production featuring a list talent increasingly bypass theatrical release entirely in favor of direct to streaming parameters. The film received no traditional theatrical release, instead debuting exclusively on Amazon Prime Video. This decision reflects Amazon MGM Studio strategic prioritization of their streaming platform over theatrical box office revenue. However, the film did receive a limited premiere event that maintained some connection to traditional theatrical exhibition. On January 15, 2026, the Wrecking Crew had its wood premieres at Regal Times Sequel Theatre in New York City. This premiere screening This premiere screening served multiple purposes, generating media coverage, providing a special experience of cast and crew, and creating promotional content testimonials from attendance. The event brought together the principal cast, including Jason Momoa, Bautista, and director Angel Manuel Soto for the corporate appearance and press interviews. The decision to forego a wide theatrical release in favor of streaming reflects several economic and strategic considerations. According to industry analysis, a film with the Wrecking Crew estimated budget of between 70 and $100 million would need to gross at least $200 million theatrically to achieve profitability using traditional box office economic. This would require overcoming significant marketing expenses, exhibition revenue sharing and the general risks associated with theatrical release in an increasingly competitive marketplace where only tentpole franchises and established intellectual property constantly deliver blockbuster returns. For Amazon, however, the value calculation differs fundamentally from traditional theoretical economics. The streaming model measures success through subscriber retention and engagement rather than ticket sales. In this framework, the Wrecking Crew functions as content design to attract new Prime Video subscribers, keep existing subscribers from canceling, and increase overall platform engagement. 1 million new subscribers at $15 per month represent different returns on investment that theoretical box office revenue, particularly when considering the long-term value of those subscribers across Amazon's entire ecosystem of service. Jason Momoa addressed the lack of theatrical release in interviews, acknowledging that his children were disappointed they could not see the film in theaters, but expressing his own reaching audience on Prime Video. His comments highlighted the complex feeling that filmmakers and actors navigate when their work bypasses traditional theatrical exhibition, even as they recognize the practical and strategic reasons for streaming first release. The absence of theatrical release also means that the Wrecking Crew would relate to traditional box office figures, making its commercial success impossible to measure using conventional metric. Instead, success would be determined by proprietary streaming data that Amazon would not publicly release, including viewing members, completion rates, and subscriber impact. This lack of transparency represents one of the significant differences between theatrical streaming release, denying both industry observers and general public the ability to clearly assess film commercial performance home media. The Wrecking Crew became available for streaming on Amazon Prime Video on January 28, 2026, launching globally across all territories where the service operates. This simultaneous worldwide release represents one of the key advantages of streaming distribution, allowing the film to reach international audiences without the strict theatrical rules that characterized traditional Hollywood release. The film was made available in numerous audio languages, reflecting Amazon's global reach and commitment to international market. Available audio track included English with multiple options including audio descriptions and dialogue boost features different levels German multiple Spanish variants of both Spain and Latin America, French for both Canada and French, Italian, Polish, Brazilian. The film carried an R rating for strong body violence, sexual material, pervasive language, some drug use, and the inclusion of flashing lights and strobing patterns that might affect photosensitive viewers. This mature rating position film adult audience and distanced it from the more family-friendly action comedy that dominate much of the streaming landscape. As a Prime Video original film, The Wrecking Crew was exclusively available through Amazon streaming service, meaning it did not receive release on competing platforms like Netflix, Disney Plus, or other. This actively serves Amazon's strategy of using original content to differentiate Prime Video from competitors to provide unique value that justifies subscription cost. Information about physical media release such as Blu-ray, DVD were not being announced as of the film streaming premiere. Given that current trend away from physical media and toward streaming exclusivity, particularly for streaming service originals, it remains unclear whether the Wrecking Crew will receive a traditional home video release. If such a release does occur, streaming Arise and might be positioned primarily for collector and international markets where physical media remains more popular. The film release strategy positioned it as Prime Video major original film for the first quarter of 2026, taking advantage of the traditional quiet January-February period when theatrical release tend to the lighter. This timing allowed to Wrecking Crew to capture attention during a period when audiences actively seek new content but have favor high-profile options competing for their time and attention. The trailer for "A Wrecking Crew" was released on January 8, 2026, just there weeks before the film premiere. This relatively short marketing window reflects streaming platform different approach to promotions compared to theatrical release, which typically begin marketing campaigns months in advance. Streaming and service can afford shorter promotional periods because they don't need to build awareness of a specific theoretical release date and can rely more heavily on algorithmic recommendations and platform promotion to drive viewership. Box Office as a streaming exclusive release on Amazon Prime Video on The Wrecking Crew did not generate traditional box office revenue, making conventional financial analysis impossible. The film commercial performance must be evaluated through the different metrics that govern streaming success: viewership, members, numbers, subscriber acquisition and attention, platform engagement, and overall impact on the Prime Video service competitive position. According to the movie database, the film had a production budget of approximately $78.5 million and generated estimated revenue of $89 million. However, these figures should be treated with considerable caution as they likely represent estimates or projections rather than confirmed financial data. Amazon does not publicly release detailed viewership statistics or revenue figures of its Prime Video original, making it difficult to verify such numbers or understand their specific meaning in the streaming content. While what is publicly known is that Dragon Crew debuted at number one on Prime Video global charts upon its release, indicating strong initial viewership. Director Angel Manuel Soto maintained in interviews that the film had performed well and become a major hit on the platform. These general indicators suggest commercial success by streaming standards, through the lack of specific viewership numbers of subscriber impact data per event. More detailed analysis, industry analysis suggests that the streaming first strategy made financial sense of Amazon MGM Studio despite foregoing theatrical revenue. The film estimated budget, while substantial, falls below the threshold where theatrical release become essential for recomponent. Moreover, the value Amazon derives from the film extend beyond direct revenue to include the contribution to the overall Prime Video content library. Its role in attracting, retraining subscriber, and its potential to generate long-term viewing even months after its initial release. The film runtime of 2 hours and 4 minutes drew criticism from several reviews. Minutes drew criticism from several reviews who felt the material would have benefit from tighter editing. Some noted that the pacing set the middle sections, the middle predictable nature of the plot made extended runtime feel longer than necessary. The final act, while action-packed, was seen by some as excessive with the body count and may becoming repetitive rather than tension. Visual effect quality emerged as a point of contention in reviews. While practical stunt work received universal praise, several criticized noted CGI elements. The film's approach to representing Hawaiian culture and communities received positive commentators. These moments of less successful digital effects highlighted the budgetary constraints of producing a meaningful action film for streaming rather than theatrical release. The film approach to representing Hawaiian cultural and communities received positive attention from several critics and cultural commentators. Reviews appreciated that the production made genuine efforts to priority heavy as more than tourist backdrop, showing real communities and incorporating authentic heavy talent both in front of the behind the camera. The storyline involving Skyland rights and the displacement of native avian communities added thematic weight that elevated the material beyond pure escapism through some felt his element could have been developed more thoroughly. The supporting cast received generally positive notice. Maureen Baccarin was praised for bringing intelligence and sensuality to her role as Johnny X's girlfriend, with several reviews noting the chemistry between her and Mama Jacoba. The trailer comic release as Pika was seen effective without becoming anyone, and his authentic caviar rules added credibility to his character. Classes Bang as the Violin received more mixed response, with some finding his eccentric performance entertaining while others felt it varied into caricature. Common Sense Media, which evaluates film from family perspective, noted the film graphic violence, including fight scenes, bloody deaths, and dismemberment, along with significant profoundly and content. They recommended the film a mature audience while acknowledging that it successfully portrayed family bonds and cultural value despite the violent content. User reviews on IMDb and other platforms demonstrated strong audience appreciation, with the film earning a 6.4 rating on IMDb based on viewer votes. Audience members frequently cited the fun factor and entertainment value as primary strengths, with many reviews expressing satisfaction with getting exactly what they expect from a Mama Bautista team up. The general audience sentiment suggested the viewers who approach the film with appropriate expectation for buddy cop action comedy found it delivered solid entertainment value. A critical section placed the Wrecking Crew firmly in the category of well-executed genre entertainment that does not transcend to limitation but successfully deliver on its promise. Critics recognized that the film understood its purpose to crowd-pleasing action comedy and expected the vision with professionalism and energy, even if it did not aspire to or achieve greatness behind its genre boundaries. The journal critical consensus suggested that the audience seeking entertaining action with the Wrecking Crew satisfying, while those hoping for innovative storytelling or substantive commentary on the buddy cop formula would like be disappointed. The genre critical consensus suggested that audience seeking entertaining action with charismatic leads would be to Wrecking Crew satisfying, while those hoping for innovative storytelling or subversive commentary on the buddy cop formula would like to disappointed. Comparisons to classic buddy cop film were inevitable, with several reviews nothing parallel to Lethal Weapon and Beverly Hills Cop, while acknowledging that the Wrecking Crew does not achieve the cultural impact or innovative qualities of those genre-defining works. However, critics generally agreed that the film represents a solid modern entry in the buddy cop traditional, updated for contemporary sensibilities while maintaining the core elements that make the subgenre appealing. The film performance in relation to the recent filmographies of both lead actors was also noted. For Jason Momoa, 74 to 78% Rotten Tomatoes score represented on one of the best reviewed films in recent years, outperforming both Aquaman and Lost Kingdom and Fast 10. For Dave Bautista, the reception was similarly positive compared to several of his recent projects. The comparative success suggests that the wrecking crew effectively utilized both actors' strengths while avoiding some of the pitfalls that had limited their other recent vehicles. Conclusion: The Wrecking Crew stands as a representative example of mid-budget action filmmaking in the streaming era, demonstrating both of the opportunities and limitations of the evolving distribution model. The film journey from a viral tweet to a major streaming release illustrates how social media and direct for engagement can influence. The film journey from a viral tweet to a major streaming release illustrates how social media and direct for engagement to influence project development in contemporary Hollywood. The production's use of heavy establishing authenticity while relying on New Zealand for the majority of filming reflect the practical compromises necessary in modern international productions. The generally positive critical receptions and strong visual response suggest that the Wrecking Crew's success in its primary objective, delivering entertaining action comedy that with the chemistry and physical presence of its own charismatic leads. While it does not revolutionize the buddy cop genre or achieve the status of the modern classic, the film represents competent professional filmmaking that understands its audience and delivers what they seek. As the entertainment industry continues to navigate the relationship between theatrical and streaming distribution, the Wrecking Crew provides valuable data points on what works in the new landscape. Films with strong star power, clear genre positioning, and appropriate budget level on the rave on streaming platforms, having both audience demands for quality entertainment and platform needs for differentiating content. The future may see more projects following this model where theatrical release becomes optional rather than assumed and success is measured by subscriber impact rather than box office total. Whether the writing career ultimately responds something to remain singular Entertainment remains to be seen, but its production and reception have already contributed valuable insights into how major studio filmmaking is evolving in response to changing distribution realities and audience conception efforts. The film represents neither a failure mission nor a surprising trumpet, but rather a solid professional piece of entertainment that found an appropriate home and audience ecosystem. Review 1. Starring Jason Momoa, Dave Bautista, Les Bang, Temuera Morrison, Jacob Battalion. At one point, Paul Motor, computer hacker Pika, remarked that the lyrics played and David Bautista and Jason Momoa looked to rock execute himself and his twins. The music attempt is the job revival of several reasons for starters, and this is said with no disclaimers. It would make more sense rested at Jacob bedroom himself. I have put more I put more thought into make sense of that Jacob than anyone did while making the wrecking through everything about the film written by Jan Norton Doppel seems to have taken an seriously narrow involvement from the already static idea that a silly novel is nowhere near enough to sustain two thoughts of the hotel. Cloton Constitute as Romeo and the ocean was satisfying five scenes. James and Tony are essential of brother with the suspension stretch of their father's film. The say who are serious of him and down and later moved to heavy a place and when a problem being unable to show their currently residing of fighting with the end of the story. What more is to say that they instantly bitter while finding themselves pushed into a rabbit hole of corruption involving the impending building of a casino on heritage land, Yakuza gangster references that want them dead, and they shady dealing between notable high power figures here. Their only clue as a USB drive introduced to Johnny and some files their father was trying to have Pika hack before his mysterious death, raising more questions than answers that the police department does not seem obligated to solve. What happened as a form of redemption of never finding critical justice over his mom murder. This also means that most of the anger bestowed upon Johnny, who does everything from trying to sword fight his gentility. When a character momentary acknowledgement apologizes, saying something that it comes across hollow land with audience funny. Nearly all of the jokes are lazy more than anything, which is not helped creating performance from Jason Momoa was starting place some character in every movie now. And while some of the car chases and more chaotic action sequences are filled with ghastly visual effects and smaller scale new fights are mildly ambitious, Wait, one points trying to create blood ugly battle from old boy weight with constantly less energy and body. The heavy settings is also present to repair from the usual loss angles. Here are family modes. Review to the Wrecking Crew 2026 is the buddy action comedy starting Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa's strength half brothers who reeled and heavier to solve their father murder. The movie is a mixed bag of characters with opinions ranging from highly positive to quite critical. Here, the siblings are while Radiant think about the Wrecking Crew. The Wrecking Crew is a mixed bag, but if you are in the mood for a cheesy action packed buddy comedy with good chemistry, starring Jason Momoa and Davy Bautista, Empire begins with the detective probing the two brothers Johnny and James who wrecked heavy in the streets, heavy turning Iceland into two heavy turning in Iceland into billed as an action comedy. The two estranged brothers return find out who killed their father and why was killed. Presented by Amazon MGM Studios, the official synopsis of the film reads: two estranged half-brothers are forced to reunite. Two estranged half-brothers are forced to after father's death as the set of uncover the truth, but secret refuses and with Mama and Bautista handling the film also stars Claes Bang, produced by Mama Bautista, Jeffer Franz, Len Harris, and Matt Reeves under the Bond Metro Goldwyn 6 production. Jason Momoa and Davy Bautista don't have time for much brotherly love in trailer for Amazon MGM Studios action comedy feature of the Wrecking Crew director and Manuel Soto movies and set to begin streaming by Prime Video on January 28th. Stephen Root, Morena between classes being Tomato Morris, Jonathan Fanga, Agnes and Mobley Round Outcast. The Wrecking Crew centers on Spined half brother Johnny and James who reluctantly reunite to investigate their father's death. You blow up my car and exasperated Bautista tells Mama in the trailer. This leaves Mama clearly I blow up their car and then landed on yours. Soto helmed the film from a script. Proper Mama and Bautista serve producers. Mama recent credits include the feature of Minecraft movie and series Chief of War and Chief of War, and he can be seen later this year in such projects as Supergirl, Street Fighter, and Dune Part 3. Bautista has recently appeared in Future the Last Showgirl Track House. Jason brings this wild, crazy, unpredictable side the filmmaker salad and Dave brings This disciplined methodical slow burn intensity to him, and well, they both big. They have a lot of gravity as men. They could not be more different from each other. So what you see in the movie is not that different from the way they are in real life. Review number 5. The Wrecking Crew, Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista latest action comedy is exactly the kind of entertaining movie fun I have been waiting for. Playing estranged brothers who team up to solve their father murder. Heavily, what I enjoyed most was the big brother little brother dynamic between Mama and Bautista character. The Homer mostly land the action is fun and engaging and the fight is creative and executive. Producing a sixth level and Harris and net reviews well Bautista Mama in Raffle reviews Wrecking Crew Jason Mama and Debbie Bautista latest action comedy is exactly kind of entertaining movie fun I have been waiting for. The Wrecking Crew just review 7. The Wrecking Crew just I also remember noticing some impressive special effects makeup that made a few audience members gasp. Meanwhile, I was busy smiling with appreciations because the filmmaking team clearly cared enough to make it that good. The corpse face revealed during the scenes house was particular standout. Most of the soundtrack is also highlight the sad one part of director Angel Manuel Soto film did not quite and may be seen toward the end where it is a Bautista character fighting the Yakuza. While the wrecking crew was genuinely fun, definitely impact, but it my view still very worthwhile action comedy entertainment. Beyond through it to get shamed among things which for me only added the fun if you even little sequences may you review it. Temuera Morrison boast known as playing Boba Fett in Star Wars franchise and Spider-Man actor Jacob Atolone have joined Dave Bautista, Jason Momoa in the Wrecking Crew in action comedy from Amazon MGM Studios. Frankie Adams and Stephen Root are also joining the crew roster, which additionally includes Paris Beam, Blue Battle filmmaker Angel Manuel Soto directing the feature, which has into production in October in Movie Land. Crew has a script by Jonathan Pepper, following the half-brother one of Liam Cannon Pop and the other disciplined Navy SEAL. After after 20 all the years of bad blood, they must work together whenever behind their father murder heavy. Producing is sixth Latu Lion Harris and Matt reviews Adele Bautista Mama and Jeffrey Flinch. Review 9. Ladia picking of the talent of apps. After seeing Bautista and Mama sell MGM on a pitch following in four-bider battle. And most recently, Peckham has been seen starring in Wasball 20th Century Studios' Telecall Kingdom of the Planet of the Earth, which is grossed $397 million worldwide. Previously guest starring on the series comedy Bob and Mr. Coma, she second next been seen James his review 10. The wrecking crew story follow up half brothers who are forced to work together after their father's sudden death. The Wrecking Crew overview, full cast and character explained. The movie shows how brothers who have completely opposite personalities. Jason Momoa plays Johnny I. Johnny is a reckless police officer who works on a Native American reservation. He breaks rules and acts on emotions. After their father, a private investigation dies in a hit and run accident to Honolulu. The brother and the brother discover secret family information while they investigate his death. The movie also features several supporting characters who help move the story forward. Stephen O. Young plays Alku. The action increases toward the end with large fight sequence and major shutdown. The action increases toward the end with large fight sequence and major shutdown. The story closes many plot points but leaves room for possible sequel. The Wrecking Crew started streaming on Prime Video on January 8, 2026. The movie blends action, humor, and family dramas.